welcome to the JCPS Digital Learning Channel. My name is Sade Graves, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Sphero Hero competition. How can you and your students become Sphero Heroes? So let's talk about what is the Sphero Hero competition. Sphero Hero is a competition that came about through the visioning of Heather Worrell and one of her former students, Nadia, at Thomas Nelson High School. The STEAM competition combines the science of coding, engineering, art, and math, and storytelling. To participate in the competition, students will create an original story that has been written from their own creativity and follows the traditional plot diagram. This contains an exposition, a rising action, a climax, falling action, and a resolution. After writing the story, students will create an original setting for the Sphero to navigate. They can use any materials that they have at their disposal in order to create the set. That can be things like cardboard, paper towel rolls, tissue paper, tarp, anything that they have in their possession they may use to create their setting. After creating their setting, students will code the Sphero to navigate the setting. In order for the Sphero to move through the setting, students must code it. They can't drive it. They have to use code in order to get the Sphero to go through the parts of their story. In addition to coding the Sphero and creating a setting, students will narrate the story for the audience. The narrator that they choose must be theatrical and capture the audience's attention. Students must work collaboratively in order to create the setting, write the story, and nominate their narrator. After the competition is over, students must be able to answer any questions that the judges may have. So who can participate in the competition? Anyone that works together at their school, any group of students, or any individual student that has a sponsor may work in order to compete in the Sphero Hero competition. So when and where is the competition? Well, the great thing this year is that there are two opportunities for students to compete. The first is at Robo, which is March 7th of 2020. For more information on how to register, students may go to the JCPS Robotics Google site. On the Robotics Google site, they will find information about Robo and how to register for the event. As you can see, the Sphero Hero competition and the competition rules are linked right on the Google site. The next opportunity for students to compete is at STLP State in April of 2020. This is at Rep Arena. In order for students to register for STLP State, they will go to the STLP website and they will register for live events. Live event registration does not happen until January of 2020 after regionals. So students have a little while before they will have to register for STLP State live events. So let's talk about how it looks. I mentioned before that students can use any materials at their disposal in order to create their setting. As you can see from this image, students have used the tarp, some cardboard, and other materials to create their setting, and their Sphero is being coded to navigate it. There are many different ways that the setting can look, and these pictures will illustrate that. The settings can be as small or as large as students would like, but one thing is that students have to have a change in elevation, and the Sphero has to perform at least a color change and a trick within their setting. That has gone into more detail in the rubric for Sphero Hero. In the rubric, there are 6 components: presentation, creativity, time length, theme, process, and collaborative effort. For presentation, the most important things are that they exude a strong energy and stage presence. Students must maintain eye contact with the audience, use note cards sparingly, and speak clearly and loudly and at an appropriate volume. For creativity, they must demonstrate creative thinking by developing a dramatic, captivating storyline and having a setting that is creative for the Sphero to navigate through. The appropriate time length for a Sphero story in the navigation is 3 to 5 minutes, and that is how many minutes it needs to be to gain the maximum amount of points. In order for the theme to get the maximum amount of points in that component, students need to have a protagonist and antagonist. The Sphero must change colors as mentioned before. They should have 3 environmental elements, such as water, mountains, desert, city, buildings, etc. The Sphero must complete at least 1 change in elevation and perform at least 1 trick. In terms of process, students must all be able to vocalize how they came up with their story, how they came up with their setting, and lastly, all members must have an effort that they put forth in the collaborative efforts. So if you have any questions about how to register, how to participate, or just how to get started with Sphero in general, you can contact me, Sade Graves, at sade.graves@jefferson.kyschools.us. Thank you, and I look forward to helping you in your Sphero Hero endeavors.